What's going on, guys? Welcome to the Shine Podcast. Today's episode, we have guest Chris Lee, who's a children's book author, voice actor, creator, all of these things that you'll see on this episode. One disclaimer is we had our internet altered by the Texas winter storm that came by recently. But hey, bear with us. We rolled with the punches. It's still amazing content with some powerful tools and messages. So hope you guys enjoy the episode. Subscribe.
Lift your spirit up and shine.
Hi friends, welcome to Shine with Mariana Cortez and Mark Sedgwick. It's another beautiful day to shine and focus on positivity and share your light. And today we have an amazing woman who is an author and a creative mind, Miss Chris Lee. Welcome to Shine.
Thank you so much for having me, y'all.
Yes, thank you. And you are, the way we met is through your boyfriend's mom, and her and I used to work together, and we became instantly friends. And one day she invited me to watch you guys perform as drummers at here at the Wortham Theater, and that's how we met. And I was in awe with the performance. Tell us a little bit about that and how you joined the team.
So that's a really good question. So I like to identify, as you introduced me, as a creative. And to me, that means not just one medium. So I did grow up as a drummer, primarily jazz. I was raised as a jazz drummer, and I've been playing drum kit for about 20 years. And even throughout my childhood, I was always writing. Journaling was a huge part of my life and still is. I think it's really good therapy for me and just a really good creative outlet. So I've always kind of been writing, always been drumming, and then in my early 20s got more into performing, which you would think, being a musician and performing go hand in hand, but not always. There's a certain art you need to learn when you perform, captivating an audience, how to speak to them without saying anything, just through body language and your music. So I kind of had to learn that. So the way we're connected is your friend, longtime friend's son, and I both went to audition in New York City for a show, and it was an open call. So about 1,100 people showed up, and we went through the week of auditions and cuts, and it came down to the final 6 of us. So they ended up hiring 3 men and 3 women, and that's how we got connected. So I met him on stage in Manhattan, and we ended up performing in New York, and then I went on to tour with the show for about 5 or 6 years all around the world. So I got to meet amazing people, great opportunities. I was so focused on just getting in the show, I didn't really think that I would have all these other opportunities that just kind of worked out. So I've met great people, other musicians, other artists that have just inspired me on my artistic journey anyway. So if you want, we can get into the book, or if you have another question.
Yeah, well, we always want to talk a little bit about who you are and what you do. And so I was always mesmerized by your talent as a drummer and the energy that you transferred to the audience. And that was so beautiful. So now that you're an author, I bet you're going to be also transferring your positive light and your positive creativity onto others and inspiring people. So it's all connected. That's why it's so important to kind of tell a little bit about your background and what you love and how we met, because I think everything happens for a reason. There's a reason why I met you those years back and why we connected. At that time, I didn't have a podcast. So it's funny how the universe aligns and introduces us to the right people. And then later, we never know how we're going to reconnect. And look, here we are doing a podcast, and now we get to introduce you as a writer. So it's congratulations on the book. So now we can get into the book. But let's go, Mark, with you for a moment. And do you have a quote for you today, Mark?
Well, I actually did write something behind me below my screen. I actually wrote something, drop a bunch of things trying to get to it. It says, I'm just going to read it because it's really heavy to pick up.
Yes.
It says, express what is in your heart and soul. Share your gift with the world. So I think that's kind of what Miss Chris Lee has done. And I guess that's kind of what we're highlighting today.
Yes, exactly. And it's so important to discover our talents, discover them. And then once you discover them and you love them and you become passionate about it, guess what? You are ready to share with the world. So, Chris, I'm super excited to hear it now how the idea was born. The title of your book is called Elliot the Penguin. So, what a cute little name and what a cute little creature. Tell us how you got inspired to write this book.
Of course. First, I want to say, Mark, I feel like that quote is so timely for today. So thank you. Beautiful. It's just everything is in alignment and I love it. So as I was saying, I am a creative. I've just always been creating music. And, I grew up with two sisters and we were always just recreating movies that we grew up with, different scenes, and just doing it for fun, And so so the book, I was actually on tour in the United States, doing the U.S. national tour, and I was doing this voice. I do a lot of character voices just because why not? And I happened to start talking in this voice, and someone leaned over, one of my castmates, and said, what are you doing? What am I hearing? And I said, oh, that's this character I'm developing, and his name is Elliott the Penguin, and he's just like this short, chubby, rotund penguin who's just so full of joy for life. And I was explaining, he loves karaoke, he loves baking cookies, he loves doing karate in his room, just kind of my spirit animal. And he said, okay, I need to draw what I'm hearing. And I said, okay, let me just describe to you the penguin. And then he sketched it, and it was exactly what was in my head, which never happened.
Cool. How cool.
Amazing. So that was about 2 years ago on the tour bus. And I said, I think I'm just going to write a book about it because I love this penguin already. And I think it would be nice to share that with the world. So here we are 2 years later with the book.
Oh, he's adorable. I love the little eyes.
Thank you. So this was definitely a passion project, 2 years from creation to completion. And the illustrator, I don't know if you can see, his name is Carrie Lamb Jr. I wrote the book as Elliot, right, in A Day in the Life, pretty much. And Carrie Lamb was the castmate I was on tour with, and he's just an incredible human being, very loving, very giving, a true Renaissance man. I mean, he does everything. He'll illustrate, he builds, he does set design, he's a tap dancer, just amazing. So I said, listen, because I'm just starting this project, I want this to be organic. I don't want it to be stressful. I want it to take as long as it needs to be right. So that was about 2 years. And creating it for me was the easy part because I just had this imagination for him. But then you get into, I'm self-published, so you get into all the formatting and design and how many pages it's supposed to be and what the cost is. So you learn a lot through the process. And for me, that was difficult because that's not really in my wheelhouse, but I would just say, okay, I'm very grateful for the process. There's a reason I have to learn this. And I learned it. So just to back up a little bit, before the book was even published and I was talking about it, my partner, whose also name is Chris, had Elliott, an Elliott puppet made for me from his friend who's the puppeteer. And he surprised me with it. So this is him.
Oh, look at him. That is so cute.
Yeah.
Put your hand inside. Let me see. How is he? You put your hand inside and he's a puppet?
Oh, he's just like a stuffed animal.
Oh, stuffed animal. Okay. So it's like, okay.
Yeah.
He's adorable.
Cute things about him, he's just cute and chubby, and he also has this strawberry ice cream backpack which comes off, which is adorable. And he's lactose intolerant. That's one of his things, but he secretly still loves ice cream, so he has that backpack. And in the book, if you'll see, because that was created before the book, he actually, I'm going to show you just on the second page, he actually has his strawberry ice cream backpack.
Oh, look at that. Oh, kids go crazy with that kind of stuff.
Yeah, so the illustrations he just carried an amazing job. And what I shared at the end of the book is, I was saying I've been writing from a young age and just have always loved journaling. So there's actually, if you buy the paperback, because it's available on Amazon as an ebook and paperback, there is a journaling prompt for young minds to get involved with writing.
Oh, perfect.
And what's cool about that is, if your young one can't write, you'll write for them, and then years later you can go back and see what they wrote, which is kind of cool.
That is awesome. I love how you incorporated the writing onto the story. That's beautiful. So tell us, Mark, do you want to ask her any questions about the book?
Yeah, well, this is really cool because my mom obviously wrote a book as well. You can tell by her background. She's got this book called My Annoying Little Brother, and it's kind of a funny coincidence because you said it kind of like your illustrator ended up creating, or whoever it was, created that perfect image of what you were seeing in your head. And it's kind of funny because my mom, actually, the illustrator had never even met me and my sister, which is the characters of my mom's book. And but he ended up creating pretty similar. Like my sister was white complected with the blonde hair, and I was more darker. And it was just a quick, crazy, amazing coincidence. And yeah, it just really added that whole nother layer of like, wow, like making or your reality or the reality in your brain into the reality of the book, which then transfers to the audience. So I really do respect that, and I wanted to mention that. And also, I'm creating a book now, and I have this vision in my mind of what the world, the gamer world is going to look like, or with a cartoon kind of feel to it that it's going to have. And I have this vision in my head, but I need to be able to portray that to the illustrator eventually. So it's really cool. I want to continue this conversation and dive deep into what has inspired you and all this kind of stuff.
Yeah, go ahead, Chris. Let us know what inspired you to actually come up with this book. What happened that you were like, wow, I want to really write a book and inspire kids?
Yeah, we hear you, Mark. Thank you. Totally appreciate that. And that's awesome that you are writing a book. Congratulations. I think for me, the inspiration again came from just doing my voiceover, doing my characters, and wanting to create a book with a character who's kind of the underdog or the unsung hero. So, Elliott is a little shorter, a little chubbier than his friends, not necessarily what society would deem perfect or a hero, but his heart is huge. Like he will be your biggest fan and your biggest confidant. And so throughout the book, he is traveling to school, and then he sees his neighbors, and he's always offering encouragement. And the inspiration of the book is I have a company called Resonate, and it's based here in Austin, but we travel everywhere. And it's a percussion performance-based company that's based around motivation and positivity. So all the workshops and all the shows we do are very motivational and interactive and getting people to believe in themselves. So this book didn't really come out of nowhere. It was just an extension of myself. So it was, okay, what am I always preaching? Leadership and courage and, being loved and loving. And so it's really just putting that into an animal form and creating the book.
Yeah, and a lot of times we have hundreds of stories popping in our brain, especially when you are a creative mind. There is not a moment that we are not thinking, and not just thinking, but thinking of creating a project, thinking of creating something, because we're natural creators. And I love that you use author and creative as your introduction, because a lot of people, they don't even want to acknowledge that they're creators. Like they're embarrassed, they're shy to even say it or share what they are thinking and even creating on paper, putting your thoughts on paper. And you did, but you went above and beyond just putting the idea or thinking of an idea. You actually started to execute that idea to make it into a reality. And that step, that final step, is where a lot of people get stuck. I think you had the right team, the right friends. I mean, how lucky are you that you are collaborating with the illustrator who's also your friend, who could see and understand your story and then see your vision and put it on this beautiful illustration format, So that's pretty cool when that happens, and it doesn't happen to everybody. So what advice do you give those young boys and girls, or even young adults like Mark, who are trying to publish books, but maybe they're afraid, or maybe they're thinking, my idea is not that great. My idea may be, may not do well. So what advice would you give those young?
I would say for anyone who has the idea to write a book or a novel or start anything creative, understanding that your stance and your opinion is valid and equally valid, with all the other people who have created books and shows and anything that you aspire to do. I think sometimes people discount who they are based on I'm too young, I'm too old, I don't have enough experience, I'm irrelevant, but it doesn't matter because who you are is valid, and no one else will be like you. There will never be another you. So you have something to offer the world that nobody else can, and to know that you have that power, it's like sitting on a lottery ticket. You just got to cash it in, and just that your story, as long as it's true to you, you can't go wrong. And I was very fortunate to have an amazing friend who's also an illustrator, and also one of my girlfriends from college. She does graphic design. So when I got towards the end, where truthfully I wanted to give up because I thought, not give up, but I was frustrated because I said, I don't know how to format. I just wanted to create. And another tip I have is don't be afraid to ask for help. Don't be afraid to be resourceful for people who know things that you don't know. So my friend from college, she does graphic design. I said, hey, I need help with formatting the book. I don't even know what I'm doing. She's like, leave it to me. And that, she was able to do so much quicker than if I were to learn how to do that. So really understanding, here are my capabilities. And when it's something that's kind of out of reach for me, just ask for help. I don't really believe in the term self-made. When people say I'm a self-made XYZ, because I think it takes a community. I think we all lean on each other and we need to. Because we all have different.
Of course. And that's why I always tell my son, be careful who your friends are. Choose your friends wisely. Try not to associate yourself with people that are going to take you off your path or off your road. It's okay to make mistakes, and make those, but you got to be alert and make those changes when you need to, and just surround yourself with a team of friends who are going to be like your soldiers, let's say, when you're in need of just a push, or those angels that cheer you up when you're down and when you're sad. And then you also want to surround yourself with some creative minds, creative friends who are going to also help you when you need to execute a project or do something, So that's beautiful. Obviously, you're surrounding yourself with the right folks, the right friends, the right people. So that's beautiful. Another question I wanted to ask you is, your book talks about kindness. And why did you think that topic was so important right now, especially, you published it in 2020, right?
Mm-hmm.
And during this pandemic and everything, why did you think that kindness was one of the topics that you needed to focus on and publish?
Ooh, another great question. I feel that kindness is overlooked. Also, it's free. To be kind to someone, it doesn't cost you anything. And it actually, the ROI that you get from being kind to someone is usually exponential. And I think just making a conscious decision to be kind is because you don't really know. And even throughout the book, you see, Elliott is just going about his day as this happy-go-lucky penguin, but he's coming into contact with people who had struggles for the day, for the week, for the year, and so we meet those people in real life, and you don't ever really know anyone's story. So I guess my answer would be, why not be kind? It can be as simple as, well, why not? Why can't we just be kind to each other? Because, the rising tide raises all ships. So if we can be kind to this person, then they can be kind to that person, and we all just become better humans.
Yes, I love it because it's a book you can easily use in a classroom. I know right now, because of the pandemic, kids are not necessarily in school settings anymore. It's more online. But these are discussions that are coming up on the discussions online of people maybe not responding kindly. And, they're not even together right now. Everybody's at their own home, their own space. But maybe they woke up and they're having a bad day. And back when we were able to have the kids in the classroom, well, you know what? If Joey came in sad, the teacher could give him a hug and cheer him up, and then he could start the day fresh in the classroom. But right now, because we don't have that connection, we're not hugging them anymore. We're not there touching them. It's really hard to transfer that kindness and that happiness through the internet virtual connection. So that's something that I'm seeing that a lot of teachers are struggling. So I want to encourage teachers to, share books, share stories that talk about kindness, about love, about respect, about integrity, all those topics. Because even though we can't be there to physically give them a hug or do something kind for our kids, we can share the stories and give them examples of how we are being kind at home, so they can turn around and be kind at home with each other, because they're spending a lot of hours together at home stuff because they can't really go out there and be social with their friends. So I love it. We need more books of kindness and love in this world. So that's a beautiful topic that you chose.
I want to shift the topic a little bit to the success principles of I guess your journey of being an author. And Mom, maybe you can share yours as well after Chris does. But yeah, share some of your success principles. We said collaboration. We're saying kindness. We're saying a couple of these things. But what else do you think helped you with the success of your journey? Maybe some like really practical knowledge. Maybe some like little details that have really helped you, maybe creating or in some other aspect.
Oh, this is an awesome question, and I'm so excited. Okay, in addition to like Marie, like you were saying, the book is about kindness. It's also about joy and finding joy in everyday things, and also with kindness means being kind to yourself. So if you are, a mom that all of a sudden now you're homeschooling your kids, you're just trying to do the best you can because the pandemic. Be kind to yourself, self-care. If you're a kid and you have a sibling, like being kind to yourself, having space, but then also being kind to them. So it just kind of circulates. But to answer your question, Mark, having the right people around you is huge. And it's not something that happens overnight. It's a conscious choice over the days, weeks, and years of your life. So there is a saying that you're the average of the five people you hang out with the most. So that just shows you, okay, if they're leveling up, that's just going to push me to level up. I was in jazz ensemble, as a drummer in high school. By the time I became a senior, I was the best at what I did. And I thought, okay, well, I've reached, and then I became a freshman. I was like, oh man, I have so much to learn. Everyone is just so much better. They practice more. They have better strategy. So for me, I never want to be the smartest person in the room. That's when I know that I need to level up my company, because I need people around me who I can learn from. And that's not to say you can't learn from someone, that's not to say you can't learn from everyone. But for me, I make a very conscious decision to have people who are smarter than me in finances, more creative than me, push me creatively, just those things. Sometimes people who are older than me, so I can learn life lessons. Yeah. And, practical things like that. And also, like I said, journaling has always been a wonderful outlet. And writing down your goals, when you write it down, it gives it power. Because sometimes you have 10, 15, 100 goals in your mind. I want to do all these things. But it's ambiguous because it's just in your mind. Oh, wouldn't it be nice to do this? And I thought, well, if you write it down, it gives it power. So I'll write down 3 things the night before I go to sleep. I'll write down 3 things I want to do the next day, things I want to accomplish creatively, just around the house, financially, for my business, whatever. And so I know when I wake up, that list, those 3 things, I make the most important thing. So I make sure I do all those 3 things, always drinking enough water and exercising. That doesn't have to be lifting weights every day, but moving my body, getting enough sunshine. Our gym ended up closing because of the pandemic, but we pivoted and we built a home gym in our garage. And so that's what we use, and we do the best we can. And so when I feel that I have been able to move my body and just, it's a meditation for me as well. That will always help me be better than the competition, meditation, another one. So I sit and I journal in the morning and I read, and then I meditate. So those for me are practical steps. And for people who say, oh, I don't have time for that, or that's not for me. I've tried meditating and I can't do it. Well, you feel like you're perceiving that you don't have time, but we all have 24 hours in a day. So just being deliberate and waking up 15 minutes before you normally would and doing these things and making it a practice, right? And then making it a decision every day. I need to do this for my well-being.
Yeah. I love it. I love it. You know, it takes a little bit of discipline.
Mm-hmm.
The moment those words come out of your mouth saying, I can't, you are already defeated. You need to change your vocabulary. People need to change their vocabulary and speak more positive about themselves and also positive about what the things they want to accomplish. So it's I always tell everybody, put your thoughts on paper, write it down, but that's not enough. Then you gotta take those notes, those I love that you boiled down to 3 because I usually make more than that. But it includes my chores and even the things I want to eat, you know. My son and I started a diet and we tried it, it didn't work, so now we gotta switch to another one because we started doing it but we didn't like the pattern, I guess, of what's happening. So now we're like, hey, we miss some things. So let's go ahead and go back to can you hear me? Let's go back to the things we were eating. So if something doesn't work, it's okay to say, you know, admit it and move on. But you have to take those ideas from the paper and put them into practice. I always say, go do it, just do it. So I love that you're doing all of these things because it's helping you shine your light. If you just write them down and you don't get the people and your team around you to help you execute this dream that you had, then it would take more than 2 years. Actually, 2 years is about average for book writing. My book took about 1.5 years to go from my idea and my thoughts into the actual book. But for me, it was a necessity. I could not find a book about 2 kids who were siblings who did not get along and help my 2 kids. So I said, I got to write this book. I need it now. So sometimes, you know, we do it out of necessity, those book ideas, because there's something we are looking for an answer. So if we can't find it, then we put the ideas, and guess what? The answers are right there. Because that's what happened with me with the annoying little brother. I didn't know what to do with these 2 kids who didn't get along. And when I started sharing the ideas, that's how then that idea turned into a book project. And then the book project, I happened to be in the right classroom with the right principals, the right teams who were supporting me and letting me be creative. So I had an author walk into my classroom and he's like, are you a writer? And I was like, no. He's like, I can tell you love writing because your whole classroom is full of writing and your kids are writing and you need to write a book one day. So he planted that seed in me because I love writing, but I never thought I could be a writer. I never thought I would even go do book signings. So sometimes because I was with the right leaders, the right people who were bringing all these inspirational authors to the schools, one of them inspired me and pushed me to publish it, and that's why I have the Annoying Little Brother. I encourage people to who have a dream or a goal. But it may not be necessarily writing or publishing a book, but it's an idea that you have. You know, maybe creating a new instrument or designing or doing an invention to help solve a world issue that we have. Whatever it may be, I love what you said about surrounding yourself with the right people because you cannot do it alone. You need the experts. And if you're not, we can't be experts on everything, right? So if we choose our friends wisely, either they're going to know somebody or they might help us themselves. Like in your case, I mean, you got 2 friends who help you with the book project, and now here it is. You know, how are you going to be sharing? How are you going to, or what are you doing to promote your book? Because right now during the pandemic, it's a lot of things are different. What are you doing right now that is helping you to promote your book, and how can we help you as well and support your project?
Thank you for that. Right now, it is. I am self-published on Amazon, so you can find the book on Amazon. Elliott the Penguin, 1 L, 2 T's, and it would be wonderful if you can buy the book. If you can't, share it out with someone who can, and also leave a review. That helps. The audiobook is going to be available soon, so you'll be able to hear all the character voices. And
Nice.
If you notice, Elliott is spelled with 1 L, 2 T's, and the reason that was deliberate because I am writing it and translating it into Spanish with the help of some other friends so that it can be, because I really thought that that was important. The other place I promote it sometimes is on Instagram. So my Instagram handle is at Chris Lee Drums, KrisLeeDrums. And I post this content, just creative content anyway, for things that I'm doing in life. But I would say that the book, you know, if you're kind of on the fence, I would say, first of all, get it. It's women written, African American illustrated, so supporting the minority community at large. It's wonderful. Great for all ages. You know, I would say it's up to maybe 10 years old, but it's great for adults too. You know, we can all learn about joy, and we can all learn about just from the penguin.
Yeah, of course. And you know, it was funny you say that, because when I wrote the book, I thought it was just going to be for first, second graders or early childhood. My book has I've done presentations at the university level talking about kids who never grew up and they stay stuck in the poor me, it's all about me mode, you know, or the stage. And kids never grow up, and there's adults that never grow up. They're still fighting and arguing. So my book has gone all the way to university level, and it has been purchased by adults who didn't talk to their sibling. One guy told me he had not spoken with his brother for over 20 years. And when his grandson took my book to his house, he read it, he cried, and he picked up the phone and called his brother.
Oh my God.
So you never know where an idea is going to inspire someone else that you never even thought of. So I don't like to put age limits on the books, because anybody can learn from a story. You know,
Absolutely.
Basically, at the end of the day, it's a story.
Hey, guys, we have to go on a short break. We'll be right back after these messages. Yo, what's going on, guys? Hope you guys are enjoying the episode so far. A lot of powerful messages. I just want to say, hey, if you're enjoying the episode, please subscribe. Make sure you guys leave a comment about what your favorite part of the show was, something you learned, something you resonated with. Y'all make sure y'all check out Elliot the Penguin. Great book. Amazing. Check out My Annoying Little Brother. Check out Hey Gamer. There's more coming soon. That's going to be my book. Stay tuned, guys. Thanks for watching once again.
Welcome back, friends. We are so excited to have this amazing discussion with Chris Lee, author of Elliott the Penguin. So what a beautiful book. Thank you so much for agreeing to join us on our podcast. If you guys want to connect, subscribe to our YouTube channel, please share with your friends and family. Remember, we are here sharing the light through the interviews that we share with you each and every time. So again, Chris, thank you for joining us. We wanted to basically summarize our discussion and discuss that success principle that Chris just shared with us through her story, and because she does have an amazing journey, so inspirational. Continue to shine bright in the world. Continue to share your story, because that makes you who you are today. And like we said at the beginning, you know, we never know why we meet people at that moment. But years ago, we did not have the Sean podcast, and here we are having this great discussion. So again, we are grateful to know you and support you. We will be getting a copy of your book. Like you said, people can find it at Amazon. And can you give us your link one more time, Chris? Where people can find your book.
Sure. So they can find it on Amazon, searching Elliott the Penguin. Make sure you're spelling it with one L and two T's. That's available as ebook and paperback. And if you want to just follow my creative journey, where I post some things about Elliott and other things about drumming, you can follow me on Instagram. It's Chris Lee Drums, KrisLeeDrums on Instagram. So
Cool.
Elliott just wants to say thanks to. He's been listening to the whole conversation and he's very happy.
Yes.
That's so cool too. Really, I've been having like a huge.
Before we go, I wanted to know: is the penguin included with the book, or how can people get the penguin as well? Is that even available yet?
That's a really good question. It is not available yet. This is custom made. However, when you buy the book and review it on Amazon, you get entered into a raffle where Elliott himself will call you to give you affirmations, to give you love, and just to give a sample of what his voice sounds like. I think that y'all should hear him talk if you want to hear him.
Yes, please.
Okay, are you good to? Okay.
Hi everyone, I'm Elliot the Penguin, and I love you so much. I love this podcast. I love what you two are doing, and everyone who's watching, listen, if you have a dream, go after it. Go after it. You are enough. You are good enough, and I just love you. All right, see ya.
Oh, what a cutie! It almost made me cry. Wow, what a cute
He just
story and
you
voice.
have to
I
love
love
him.
that.
You have to love him. He will lift you up when you're down. I mean, he will just inspire you, he'll just make your day better. He's the best. He's the best.
I love it. What a beautiful idea, Chris. I love it. It gives me, it really made me like feel like cozy inside. Like, oh, that is so cute. I love it. Keep shining. Keep sharing your ideas, your story, and your voice, because I didn't know that you had this inner voice that's spreading joy and kindness around the U.S. and hopefully around the world. So good luck on your project. I hope we can see you in person soon. We're going to order a copy of your book because I want to be able to also share that with some of the connections I have with the kids online. So I can't wait to see you again. Mark, did you want to add anything to close the podcast?
Yeah, well, I mean, I have a couple of questions. Like,
Okay.
the connection has been so bad. It's like I've just been trying to think of a good time to say a question without it lagging, but it's okay. I mean, this is amazing. You have like this amazing talent that is just like, I thought I was listening to like a cartoon TV show, like professional. Like, you are legit. That's really good, I gotta say.
Elliot says thanks as well. He's just sometimes he'll just kind of pop in,
Oh, and his eyes are so cute.
You are great. That's really good. Creating a world. I really like. I've thought like I don't know if I can pull something up here, but like I have like my own little world like in the creation right now, right? Like coming soon. So I see that too though, like action figures and like plush dolls and stuff like that of your created world. So that's really cool. You're really inspiring me right now, and hopefully the audience at home right now is really getting inspired, and go check out her book. This is good stuff. So
thank you. Yeah, Elliot is the mascot of all things love and light and inspiration and happiness. So if you're ever feeling down, just go. You could go by and read the book, and you might get a call from him to cheer you up.
Yeah. Well, hey, I hope we have another podcast or we meet again very soon, because it was really nice to meet you and Elliot. And may God continue to bless your journey here and continue to create these amazing projects and develop these awesome worlds and characters and all this awesome stuff. Keep it up, guys.
Yes. So we want to end the podcast by saying, if you have a dream, if anybody out there has a dream, an idea, don't be afraid to put your idea on paper, share it with others, find out friends that can help you make that idea or that project come to life. But don't just sit at home and be a dreamer. Get out, do something, and surround yourself with the right people who are going to help you share your life. Chris, part of the podcast, and let's continue to sprinkle joy and kindness around the world, especially during these times. Those are probably two things that we need, including love in our hearts. So until next time, we'll see you soon. Be blessed, continue to shine your light, and don't let anything or anyone stop you from shining. Take care. We'll see you next time.
Bring your dreams into reality, guys. Thanks for coming, Chris. Take care. Nice to meet you.
Thank you.
Bye-bye.
And cut.
Lift your spirit up and shine. Shine.